Certainly hoping that in the next 30 minutes the Black Stars will begin the game off with Chad and we would win some good news from Ghana. But before that, we have news tonight on GHOne TV. My name is Emmanuel Agyabeng, leading the pack tonight. Interior Minister orders immediate repatriation of foreign nationals involved in illegal mining operations in Ghana. Ashanti Regional Minister Adum tasked with providing immediate support as traders count losses after an early morning inferno ravaged shops at Adum. Still on this bulletin, NHIA assures of continuous implementation of free dialysis program until operationalization of Mahama Cares initiative. And as mentioned earlier, all set for that crucial clash between Ghana and Chad in the ongoing 2026 World Cup qualifiers. We'll be live at the Accra Sports Stadium with more updates. We've got the details of these stories and media that's coming up shortly. Do stay with us. We receive you warmly to this evening's news broadcast. Starting off from the Middle Belt, President John Dramani Mahama has instructed the Ashanti Regional Minister Adum to swiftly assist the victims of the Adum market fire. He emphasized the urgency of supporting those who have lost their livelihoods and has called for a thorough investigation into the incident. More in the following report.
Hundreds of traders have been displaced after a massive fire ravaged shops at the Adum market in the Ashanti region, reducing a significant section of the market to ashes. The blaze, which erupted earlier this morning, spread rapidly, leaving widespread destruction. Traders, many of whom had invested their life savings into their businesses, struggled to salvage their goods. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoakwahene, along with other government officials, visited the affected shops located along the rail line behind Hello FM. Here is one of the traders recounting his losses. The Ashanti Regional Fire Commander, ACFO2 Peter Tete, has been providing updates on the situation.
So the fire is so complex. The fire, the combustibles are made up of different cargoes. You meet somebody in a store who sells different items. Yes. So that made the fire very complex. Accessibility is a problem. The turntable ladder is there to fight from the roof, but they got there and there was no accessibility. Firemen have tried hard this morning to bring the fire under control.
Industrial Relations Officer for the Ghana National Fire Service, Alex Kenati, says investigations have commenced into the cause of the fire.
Well, as you said, still early days. I only want to preempt. I want to do to officers to finish fighting the fire, do the investigation so that with much more reliable investigation at the end of the day.
President John Dramani Mahama also visited the scene, reiterated his directive for immediate relief efforts.
Minister ne Adwadifo no ebeka yakache nadmo se ombehwe na omumpe emwabi emfa mo omo kakra yeni chief of staff nso bekasa entinya Ashanti Regional Minister ene ombeka no na yahwe emwa ebetimi de abo omo se ne be ya omo so ombenya comfort kakra.
The Ghana National Fire Service is yet to determine the exact cause of the fire.
We're certainly looking forward to giving you more updates on that particular story. But to some news now, the Minister for the Interior, Muhammad Muntaka, has directed all regional commanders of the Ghana Police Service to ensure the immediate repatriation of all foreign nationals arrested for illegal mining activities. Now, speaking at the opening session of the first Regional Commanders Conference under the leadership of IGP Christian Tete Yohundo, Mubarak Muntaka emphasized the need for strict enforcement of this directive. He warned that any officer who fails to comply risks being transferred, stressing that the fight against illegal mining, commonly known as galamsey, requires collective efforts and unwavering commitment from law enforcement.
The galamsey, I've seen written to the IGP that henceforth, any equipment that we find either in our forest or galamsey site, the chassis number of that vehicle or that equipment be forwarded immediately to us, and then we'll get the owner. So if you are renting your bulldozer or other equipment to galamseyers and you are sitting at home, yes, we go to the site, they run away, but we have the chassis on the facility, the truck, and we will come pick you at home. And I've written to the IGP, this is something that we need to look at. The foreigners that we find in those forests, what do we do to them? Since I became the Minister of Interior, we have returned well over 107 citizens of other countries that we have found in fraud and in galamsey activities. I want to reiterate to the regional police commanders in particular that any foreigner that we find in our forest, immediately call your colleague from the immigration for them to pick them, because we have decided that any foreigner that we find in our forest or involved in any fraud, our first option is to repatriate them back into their country, and we will not compromise on this. So as regional police commanders, I have written to the IGP insisting that if any commander we found that you get foreigners and you cannot forward them to us for repatriation, then that may mean that you may not want to stay in that region, and therefore we may have to remove you to where maybe you may not have to see galamseyers or illegal people conducting activities in our country.
Well, in a similar vein, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohundo, has tasked all regional police commanders with ensuring swift action and bringing perpetrators of environmental crimes to justice. According to the IGP, illegal mining is no longer just an environmental crisis, but a growing security threat. The Ghana Police Service is taking a firm stand, declaring war on crimes linked to illegal mining.
Illegal mining poses a significant security risk, particularly in our forest reserves and mining communities. In regions like the Western North and many others, armed criminals have carried out brutal attacks on innocent people, including forest guards, without justification. This lawlessness must not be allowed to continue. We are declaring war on crimes related to illegal mining, and I expect every regional commander to take decisive action to bring perpetrators to justice. Another pressing issue is the prolonged conflict in Boko, which has profound national security implications. As law enforcement officers, we must restore lasting peace in the area. Many of you have extensive experience in conflict resolution and international peacekeeping. We must apply this expertise to unite feuding factions and end this long-standing dispute. It is unacceptable for this issue to persist for years without a concrete resolution.
This is the latest in the fight against illegal mining and the menace of it. Let's engage the Executive National Coordinator for Eco-Conscious Citizens, Awula Sewa, now for a reaction to this development. Awula, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
We are grateful for your time. Largely, many have had cause to say that the illegal mining menace has seen foreign participation, and largely not Ghanaians, but foreign people come into the space, invest, and take away the gold and destroy our environment. This particular move that we are getting from the Interior Ministry with support from the IGP, is that one that you support?
Yes, we support it. It's a good one. But let us be quite clear that most of the time, the foreign nationals who are engaged in environmental terrorism are doing so with the complicity of Ghanaians. So let's not act as if it's just a foreign national. But yes, what is being done is a step in the right direction, and we welcome it with cautious optimism. But let's not forget that Ghanaians are often behind some of these foreign nationals.
Speaking of Ghanaians who are behind these foreign nationals, there's been cause to say that indeed the devil finds job for an idle hand. They are not working. They are saddled with a number of issues. Unemployment is quite high. Cost of living is high. Amidst all these efforts that comes from government, we are seeing a strategy that looks at nipping the menace in the bud. But we are yet to see a strategy that looks at tackling the reasons why people venture into illegal mining in the first place. What expectations do you have of the government?
You see, let's be clear. People venture into criminal activity. Illegal mining is a criminal activity for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's for they want instant wealth. I mean, we all know that people go into armed robbery because they want wealth. We have people who are farmers, we have people who are jobs, but they have left the jobs to do illegal mining because they want to get rich overnight. And we found people like Aponta Mining flaunting their wealth on television, their gold bars. So people think that this is an avenue I can go in. So whatever reasons people go into illegal mining, whether genuine unemployment or greed or whatever, this is something that is a criminal activity and needs to be completely wiped out. And environmental CSOs and others have given some or have put out some demands with the things that would help in the fight against illegal mining. So yes, it's good to find jobs for the idle hands. Yes, the devil finds work for those who have idle hands. But it's not necessarily only those with idle hands. I mean, we find, if you look at Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, I mean, those he named, would you call them people with idle hands? These are people who just wanted to make more money than they are making.
Now, if you look at the whole development and what we're getting now in respect of repatriation, we have a case at hand. We have GHOne, the Galamsey Quinping that people, she left the country, she managed to come back into the country. And so there's doubts as to whether there is going to be such effectiveness with this repatriation. How best do we move from our experience with GHOne to making sure that this policy this time around works?
You see, all this we've always said is all about political will. In the case of GHOne, we know all the different stories were being told. But the truth of the matter was that there wasn't the political will to deport her. So when she left the country, she simply came back. And how did she come back? How come the immigration officers nobody noticed she was coming back? So if the political will is there, and if the police, immigration are all working as they should, if somebody is deported, it will be I'm not saying it will be impossible, but it will be very difficult for the person to come back. But for whatever reason, there wasn't any determination to ensure that GHOne didn't come back. And if you remember, contradictory stories were being put out when the issue came to light that she was still in the country after having allegedly been deported. So these are the things that are going on. You need the political will, and you need the determination to carry out what we said we'll do.
As I let you off, I would want to focus on your assessment of this government so far in the fight against illegal mining. We've seen the launch of the Blue Water Guards. We are now seeing some policy direction by way of security to repatriate persons, foreign nationals involved in the menace. There's a government where we have had some state actors within this government previously during campaign time say that they can stop the menace within the week if they come into power. Are you happy with the progress made so far?
Well, I mean, you can hear from your reporters, Erastus Donkor will tell you that in the forest reserve, illegal miners are still very, very active, and the excavators are still there. We have said that declare a state of emergency, go to the forest reserve, remove the environmental terrorists, because some of them are highly armed. And if you don't remove them quickly, parts of the country will become no-go areas, as we have in some parts of Latin America. Because every day you leave them, they're getting stronger. And in some instances, they've actually repelled the army. Then we also asked for a complete revocation of LI 2460, which actually allows mining in forest reserve. When in opposition, His Excellency the President said when he came to power, he revoked that law. It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing that what has been laid before Parliament is not a revocation of LI 2462, but an amendment just seeking to remove the clause that gives the President the authority to allow mining in writing. Now, it's not the President who grants mineral license. It's the Minerals Commission. So as we speak, mining is still going on supposedly legally in forest reserves, and this is something we said no, shouldn't be going on. So we are calling on the President to live up to his word and ensure that LI 2462 is completely revoked. Now, the launch of the water guard is a good thing, but what we have to remember is that they will not be in a position to repel the highly armed environmental terrorists. If our army, which is highly trained and well equipped, has sometimes been repelled, how are they going to do it? So let's be serious about what we are saying. After the environmental terrorists have been removed, they may help in highlighting when the terrorists are trying to return, so the army can come back, the forest guards can come back and try and repel them. So they can complement what is going on, but let's not deceive ourselves that they can actually remove the environmental terrorists. Then we ask for a pause in community mining, because in many cases, the communities tell us that it's the same as illegal mining. Nobody is adequately monitoring them. There are thousands and thousands of them. Nobody is monitoring. Nobody is enforcing. When they are giving the licenses, nobody is checking that they are mining where they are supposed to be mining, that they have their act together, they have the tailing where they can wash the gold so that they don't wash the gold into the source of water of the community. This isn't being done. And that's why we ask for a pause until we got our act together. This isn't being done. And so the initiatives that are taking place, we welcome some of them with cautious optimism that the way in which things were put out, especially the laying out of LI 2462, which wasn't the revocation that was promised, but rather a review, we have to trust but test everything being said.
Awolasewa, thank you so much for your time this evening on our war on illegal mining and the latest developments on it. Speaking of illegal mining and the devastation to environments between 1950 and now, we are said to have lost 60% of our forest cover. The previous government had a Green Ghana initiative. Today, President John Dramani Mahama has reaffirmed this commitment to restoring the forest cover with the launch of the Tree for Life Restoration Initiative. Our Presidential Affairs correspondent, Adum, joins us with more on this. Hanan, good evening.
Agyabeng.
Yes, Hanan, if you can hear me, how critical is this launch and this initiative to the President?
Well, Agyabeng, the initiative falls in line with the President's promise or pledge to deal with illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. So during the campaign, when he visited the regions where mining activities are going on, you can talk about the Western region, Ashanti and Eastern, he promised that he's going to ensure that reclamation of the lands are done, to ensure that the ecological integrity of the country is intact. So looking at the vast devastation of lands, water bodies, and cocoa farms, amongst others, the President decided that the restoration efforts, which is the Tree for Life initiative, is one of those steps aside getting or weeding out illegal miners across water bodies and forest reserves is concerned. So about 5 million seedlings would be distributed across the forest fringe areas, which also includes the areas that I've mentioned: Western region, Ashanti region, Western North, amongst others, where illegal mining or mining activities are going on. So about 1,000 casual workers would also be engaged. This means that employment opportunities would also be created for some people in that regard. And we saw last week some river guards were also integrated after they've gone through some rigorous training. So they would also complement the government efforts in dealing with the menace of illegal mining. So the president says that this will not be a 90-day wonder, as he vows that he would ensure that the two 10 ministers, that is the lands minister and the minister for environment, would ensure the speedy laying of the of an amendment or for an amendment of the revocation of the LI 2462, which grants or gives permit for people to engage in mining activities or illegal mining activities in forest reserves. So the president is keen on that. He believes that once that is done, the fight will kick in earnest, where all the necessary procedures or protocols would be observed. So he says that since his government came into office, Agyabeng, about 75 people have been arrested, and these include Chinese nationals, Indians, Burkinabes, amongst others, who have been arrested, and the immigration has taken steps to ensure that these people are deported back to their home countries. And so he also says that this would also involve stakeholder participation. That includes the chiefs, especially the chiefs, and as even though the president is yet, or the government is yet to appoint MMDCs, because you know that coordinating directors are the ones in charge. So the MMDCs would also play a critical role in this fight, and they will do that in collaboration with the traditional authorities in the respective areas that this menace is taking place, Agyabeng.
Now, the Ashanti Regional Minister and Minister responsible for lands and natural resources have been speaking. Tell us more about what they have been saying.
For the Ashanti Regional Minister, for example, we know that he has taken the fight to a different height. He's been to Konongo, where we know that that area is on a time bomb. Anything could happen at that moment, because in that area you find out that people are mining even in their kitchens, and people are mining behind at their backyards, and that is very concerning. So he has already taken steps. He vows that once the president or the government has laid out its intentions to deal with this, anybody that is involved will not be spared if they are found to be culpable in this fight. So he says that the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator, that is Major Retired Jabari, and his men will continue to visit various forest reserves in the area to ensure that they weed out these illegal miners. And I must emphasize that the Ashanti region is one of those places that, or one particular region, that a lot of these activities is going on. So the regional minister says that he would ensure that he liaises with all the relevant authorities, especially the national security, to ensure that he does what needs to be done to ensure that illegal miners are flushed out of the region. Finally, the lands minister also says that there's the need for chiefs, because he's very much concerned about the role of traditional authorities. And about 2 weeks ago, he was in the Western region, where he rallied the Western Regional House of Chiefs to support the government efforts in dealing with this matter. So there is another angle that the lands minister is dealing with. And another factor is that money is involved. So the government would have to commit a lot of resources. So he's pleading with cabinet to support his ministry with the needed funds to deal with this matters, because if the money is not available, it means that the national security operatives, the Ghana Army and all that, would not continue to be in the forest, or would not be in these areas where the illegal mining is going on, to ensure that they keep an eagle eye on these perpetrators.
Hanan, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on what is happening by way of our on illegal mining with the latest from the presidency. Now, the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, has assured the public that the free dialysis program under the National Health Insurance Scheme remains in effect. In a statement signed by the NHIA Chief Executive, Dr. Victor Asari Bampo, the authority emphasized that the initiative will continue until the full operationalization of the Ghana Medical Care Trust Fund, also known as the Mahama Cares Initiative. Well, let's take a closer look at the details of the statement that was brought earlier today. And from the statement, we do understand that a 7-member team has been established by the Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Kwabena Mensah-Kando, to oversee the successful implementation of the initiative. The Ghana Medical Care Trust Fund, an initiative of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, aims to support the cost of care for individuals with chronic diseases, including kidney failure requiring dialysis, cancers, and heart diseases. This commitment aligns with our mandate to ensure accessible and affordable health care for all, particularly for patients with kidney diseases who rely on dialysis treatment. We remain committed to collaborating with all stakeholders to ensure a seamless transition once the Ghana Medical Care Trust Fund is fully established and operational. There's still news tonight on GHOne TV. We are back with more after this break. Welcome to Welcome back from the break. This is still News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Time check at 7 p.m. The Ghana Black Stars are set for a crucial showdown against Chad in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers at the Accra Sports Stadium. Ghana is aiming to bounce back and climb to the top of Group I after Comoros suffered a defeat against Mali on Thursday. Here at the EIB Network, we are strongly with the Black Stars of Ghana and this particular fight, hoping to secure victory. And most of our team members are. The Mutala Inusa is spending his Friday evening with the Black Stars at Accra Sports Stadium. He joins me shortly to bring us up to speed as we head to kick off. What is the reaction? What is the euphoria? What are people saying at the stadium? Mutala, good evening.
Hello, Emmanuel.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, albeit faint. Tell us more. What is happening at the stadium?
Well, Emmanuel, as I talk to you now, the referee has signaled the commencement of the game. And for the first time, we see the Black Stars of Ghana don an all-yellow jersey here. And when he comes to the stadium, it's really amazing. But one thing that is of most interest to many Ghanaians is the selection of Benjamin Asare, the only local player in the setup here. It's so much amazing. The noise here, you cannot stand it. And that's what is happening here. The game has just started about almost 2 minutes now, and everything is ongoing. The whole stadium is filled to capacity. And I can tell you that the Black Stars of Ghana are hoping to make the nation proud.
Mutala, let me ask you, what is your expectations of the Black Stars this evening?
But if you look at the atmosphere at the stadium right now, the demeanor of the players and everybody, all the fans here, one thing is only in their mind to ensure that the Black Stars wins the game. And that is the goal! And the goal!
Mutala, who is in the lead, Ghana or Chad?
The first goal has been registered. The Black Stars of Ghana! The Black Stars of Ghana!
Mutala's excitement. Mutala's excitement can be lived live on Star. Yeah, Mutala, go on.
Just when I was telling you that the Black Stars are showing that they are up for attack, the first goal has been registered. And the first goal, it has been registered, yes. And the Accra Sports Stadium, and as you can hear, the fans are all over. The Black Stars in all yellow are saying that they are in to banging the goal.
Muta, who scored the goal? Unfortunately, the telephone lines are not quite clear, so we are unable to ascertain who scored the goal. But for our viewers, you can turn on your radio sets on Kasapa on Star 103.5 FM. There is live commentary, and you can fully listen to the game ongoing between Ghana versus Chad. We do understand in less than 3 minutes, the Black Stars are in the lead. Up next is the update from our World of Business. Business pharmacist and country director for GHOne, Jonathan Zobi, is urging Guineans to choose GHOne as the best option for drinking and cooking water. He explains that tap and even sachet water contains metallic compounds and bacteria that boiling or cooking cannot eliminate due to the state of Ghana's water sources. Speaking at the launch of the Cook with GHOne campaign, he also talked about the dangers of plastic waste and mismanagement, encouraging people to opt for GHOne reusable and recyclable bottles. Zuleya Hanuhu has more on this report.
Cook with GHOne is a campaign promoting the use of GHOne water in cooking. GHOne Ghana is a social enterprise specialized in the production and distribution of purified drinking water. Speaking at the launch, pharmacist and country director for GHOne, Jonathan Zobi, urged Ghanaians to choose GHOne water as the safest drinking and cooking water.
So as a pharmacist by profession, cooking is equivalent to boiling. Now, there are some bacteria and other chemicals or heavy metals in water that boiling will not take them out. So it's very critical that they go through the right filtration system so that you take these bacteria and harmful metals out of the water. These impurities actually have an impact on even the taste of the food that you make. So sometimes people think, oh, this food didn't turn out well because I did everything right. There's actually your water. You should check the water you're cooking with.
He also addressed the dangers of plastic waste and improper waste management, urging Ghanaians to switch to GHOne's reusable and recyclable bottles to help protect the environment.
One key thing that has come up and I keep talking about, and even the new EPA boss, is about how we encourage reuse of plastic, not single plastic use. And that's what GHOne is trying to fix with our Cook with GHOne campaign. A lot of people, or majority of households in Ghana, cook using sachet water. Using sachet water, what it means is after you're done, you generate a lot of waste. That's the rubber. Once that is generated, what happens is that these rubbers are not properly disposed of, they are not properly recycled.
One of GHOne's unique initiatives is its franchise program, which gives young entrepreneurs the opportunity to own and operate water businesses. The company also empowers entrepreneurs by equipping them with water treatment and bottling equipment. Hajia Aisha, GHOne Ghana's first franchisee, shared her success story.
For young out there who, let's say, it's not everybody who has the chance or the means to be a franchisee, but being a reseller, because I passed through that distant stage before being a franchisee. So being a reseller for GHOne is really amazing. So instead of being in the house doing nothing, it's better being a reseller, because not only you make a living, you make money, and the water speaks for itself. You don't need advert. Anybody who tastes the water will surely come back for it.
As part of the campaign, GHOne Ghana has introduced a special promotion. The 20-liter tap bottle, previously priced at 150 Ghana cedis, is now available for just 50 Ghana cedis. For safe, clean and tasty meals, cook with GHOne.
Accra Brewery PLC, producers of club beer and bitter malt, has marked the 2025 World Water Day with a clarion call to all Ghanaians to endeavor to practice sufficiency in water usage. This call aligns with the United Nations Observance Day established in 1993. It highlights the importance of fresh water and raises awareness about the 2.2 billion people worldwide without access to safe water. Carbon Powell reports.
Established in 1931, Accra Brewery PLC has consistently reduced its water usage through innovative means, achieving a notable improvement in its operations over the past year. This enhancement resulted in the company's water use efficiency increasing by approximately 15%, with the aim of reaching net zero by 2040. Here is the head of Legal and Corporate Affairs, Slomo Eya, highlighting the company's drive for water sufficiency.
What we are celebrating globally as World Water Day. And as you may be aware, Accra Brewery as a business uses a lot of water in what we do. Water is an essential part of our production. Without water, we don't have a business. And as it is said severally this morning, water is part of our key ingredient. It's form about 90% of what we do. So this morning's event is to ram home our water efficiency initiative as a business and our contribution towards water efficiency.
Solomon emphasized the need for all humans to be conscious of the environment, particularly water, as human activities threaten sustainability.
Our inspiration is drawn from the fact that water is becoming a very scarce resource. And as you may be aware, water is a human right for everybody. And so it's a responsibility for all of us as businesses, as communities, as individuals to ensure that the scarce resource that we have, number one, we use it efficiently, and for us as a business, we use it effectively so that the resource remains with us as long as our business also remains.
The event, held at the company's head office, was attended by stakeholders including government officials, local media, strategic suppliers, and non-governmental organizations.
The global freshwater demand is projected to exceed supply by 40% in 2030 if urgent measures are not taken. In Ghana, the country already faces a daily water shortfall of over 90 million gallons due to pollution and related activities. In response, Ghana Water Limited is calling for a united front in tackling water conservation challenges. Speaking at the 2025 World Water Day commemoration, the acting CEO of Ghana Water Limited urged Ghanaians to actively combat water pollution and illegal mining.
The 2025 World Water Day, themed Water Conservation, brought together key stakeholders to discuss Ghana's progress toward achieving Sustainable Development Goal 6, ensuring access to clean water and sanitation for all. Acting CEO of Ghana Water Limited, Adum Mutawakilu, emphasized the need for collective action in preserving the country's water resources.
Illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, industrial waste disposal, and household waste continue to pollute our rivers, making water treatment and production very difficult and expensive. We face significant challenges that threatens our ability to meet the growing demand. While Ghana Water Company is making strides to improve water supply, water conservation is a collective responsibility. We call on all stakeholders, government agencies, private businesses, community leaders, and individuals to join us in safeguarding our water resources.
In her keynote address, Deputy Minister of Works, Housing and Water Resources, Gisela Tete Agboti, reaffirmed the government's commitment to protecting Ghana's water bodies.
Ghana's policy response to conserve and safeguard our water resources for everyone and every sector of the economy is that of a shared responsibility of us all. His Excellency the President of Ghana has demonstrated his commitment to fight against illegal mining and the conservation and restoration of our water through a series of actions taken against illegal mining. Earlier this week, His Excellency the President launched the River Guards training program in the Western region. These river guards will be deployed to illegal mining areas to help in the fight against illegal mining and consequently the conservation of our water resources. The initiative signals government's total commitment to the conservation of our water bodies.
World Water Day, observed annually, is a United Nations initiative aimed at raising awareness of global water challenges and promoting access to safe drinking water for all.
That said, consumers who fail to pay their water bills will soon have their names published as part of measures by the Ghana Water Limited to recover outstanding debts. Speaking to GHOne News on the sidelines of a special event marking this year's World Water Day at the Wager Treatment Plant, Accra West Regional Chief Manager of the company, Engineer Emmanuel Agyabeng, revealed that the failure of some consumers to settle their bills is severely affecting the company's operations. He stated that the GWL is awaiting approval from its yet to be constituted board to roll out the Name and Shame initiative.
Our greatest challenge is people don't pay bills. The bills payment should be taken serious. But without bills, without payments, or without funds, we cannot improve on our services. We are currently using legal means to collect our debts, and we have a program in place. We want to name and shame. So if you are owing, then we want to bring you into the dailies or the newspapers. Publish your name and how much you owe. But that is not yet being approved by the board. So I think once the board approves, once you get the board and the board approves of that process, then we can use it. But currently we are using the legal means to collect our debts. We give our debtors list to vendors, legal vendors, to chase people who are owing the company and then pay.
That has it for a world of business, but in other related stories on the local front, political scientist and leading member of the MPP, Richard Agyabeng, has warned that the party risks more defections if continues to refer frustrated members to the disciplinary committee. His comments came after the MPP referred former Adum MP Sarah Adum to the committee over what is described as anti-party comments. This follows a directive from the party instructing all members to refrain from airing their grievances in the media. Here's a news desk report on the latest developments in the last 24 hours.
Barely hours after the opposition NPP on Thursday 20th March directed all members to cease pronouncements to the media that creates disaffection within the party, former Dom Kwabenya MP Sarah Adum was referred to the party's disciplinary committee on the premise she had defied the directive. This was in response to an interview she granted on Accra-based Joy News shortly after the party's directive. Unperturbed by the referral, Adum was scheduled to have at least 3 similar engagements, including an appearance on GHOne TV's GH Today on Friday 21st March. However, sources close to GHOne reveal that the party had delegated some members to her home and her father's home in a bid to convince her to ditch the interviews. Although the party was successful in its bid to prevent the interviews, the directive by leadership of the NPP to refer Adum to the party's disciplinary committee has sparked widespread debate within the NPP and beyond. In Prior MP Davis Ansah Opoku, who is a member of the NPP, took to social media to criticize the measures taken against the former Dom Kwabenya MP Adum. He not only expressed his apology to her, but also urged the party leadership to handle her situation with greater sensitivity. Member of the Convention People's Party and lawyer Kwame Jantua, on his part, is calling on the NPP to resort to dialogue. He also urged the party to see this as a learning curve and focus on restoring confidence in Ghanaians again.
Let's take a listen to Dr. Mwakuba, who is a leading member of the NPP and has said that if the party continues referring in persons who air their grievances to the disciplinary committee, they would suffer more defections.
Whatever you have to do to bring calm, that's what you do. Talk to people with the truth and calmness. If you have to beg them, apologize on the party's behalf. I'm sorry we did this to you. I'm sorry this and that and that. And people get calm, then you can talk to them constructively. Right now you need more people, not less. So don't go and threaten anybody that you hold them to disciplinary committee. That's the last thing you want to say. It will backfire.
This is still News Tonight on GHOne TV. After this break, we have more for you on the bulletin. Do stay.
Welcome to NLA.
Thanks for staying. Let's take you to the entertainment zone now. In his debut in stage play production in Ghana as he prepares to premiere GHOne tomorrow. The play, featuring internationally renowned singer Lucinda Drayton, explores the balance between family and career along with the sacrifices that come with it. There's more on the play, which will be staged in a private premiere on Saturday, 22nd March at Kempinski Hotel in Accra at 4 p.m.
Man explores the delicate balance between family and career, highlighting the sacrifices that come with it. Producer of the play, Jason Jamo, shares insight on what audiences should expect.
We look at Africa as a hub for creatives today and how we can carry that to the world. And Africa arts bring a very unique immersion with culture, with drums, with sounds, with music. And so we're trying to create that and send it out across to the world. Let people know that, everybody has to find that inner treasure within. And that's the story of GHOne, how he goes on his journey and he's able to conclude and find that inner treasure, which is being loyal and being there for his family and not being stuck in the cycle of day to day. So many times today, we all get so tied up in what we're doing daily that we forget some of the important things in life. And so that's how GHOne has been established and relatable to us all. Yeah.
The stage play and musical features internationally renowned singer Lucinda Drayton. The singer, who is in Ghana for the first time, reflects on her experience ahead of the premiere.
Tomorrow I'm just going to weave my music in with the production, which has already been worked on by the actors and the writers and the technical team. So my job is really to listen and work with them and weave the music in as best I can. Yeah, it's been beautiful. I've been very welcomed. The people are very warm. They're very expressive. I certainly will be coming back. I'm looking forward to coming back already. I feel like I'm with family. It's beautiful.
Some cast members share their experience with working with Ample Production.
And being able to work with Ample Production as well. I've never worked with them, but I'm enjoying working with them. They're very collaborative and they're receptive to ideas and innovative ideas. So I'm enjoying that.
The play is it's a heartwarming story. It's about a man who has found himself lost in the pursuit of greatness and the pursuit of success, and unfortunately his personal relationships with the people he holds dear suffer as a result of that. So the play is all about him realizing this error that he has made in his life and the attempts he makes to course correct and set things right.
The play's launch at the Labadi Beach Hotel featured a panel discussion with the production team, followed by a soothing performance by Lucinda Drayton.
Have you wondered ever how second-hand clothing, popularly called Obroni, became a fast clothing option for many Ghanaians? How did Ghana move from relying on locally woven fabrics to adopting second-hand clothes from abroad? Well, GHOne Sena Ajato takes us back in time to uncover the story behind Obroni Wewu, the savior of many.
They arrive in tightly packed bales, wrapped, sealed, and shipped across oceans before landing on the street of Ghana. Once opened, the pile of second-hand clothes, popularly known as Obroni Wewu, unravels. Shirt, skirt, trousers, dresses, each carrying a story from a faraway place. Some still hold traces of their past owners, a lingering scent of detergent, perfume, or even age. No two pieces are ever quite the same. But the journey doesn't end there. These clothes find their way into bustling markets, spread out on cut-open sacks or hang on makeshift racks, ready to be dug through, bargained for and worn anew. From corporate offices to construction sites, from schools to Sunday services, Obroni Wewu has become a part of everyday Ghanaian life, It is no longer just thrift shopping, it is fashion, identity, and the Ghanaians' way of life. But this wasn't always the case. Once upon a time, historians say the Ghanaian ancestors wove their own stories into fabric. Kente, Gonja cloth, Ntoma, and the Batakari carried tradition, identity, and heritage. Clothes were sewn, not shipped. Fashion was local, not imported. Even flour sacks were stitched into shirts. So how did the country move from that to this?
And a man, Nigeria, for no be free as CSS and Yamawi, a belly the bar African. In Jomo the bar African and Ukraine, a boy, now a more fair.
Before the woman pay at the sea, and see, Omusha, no answer, no maja, and I am so be too far. Idea and say, over package, Edia bar, Adia call other countries.
Miniman say, Mini, and one a minim baby free, meaning like. The way I buy, I don't have any idea about it, but just say, maybe 2 years.
Historian and lawyer Yao Anoche Frimpong traces the origins of second-hand clothing, popularly known in Ghana as Obroniwe or bend-down boutique.
It was the Fante people along the coast who met the white first in 1481, thereabout, whereupon the Elmina Castle, St. George, was built. The Fantes say that beyond the waves, the high seas, into a very natural brofo. That's the way it became. The moment you wear African clothes, to signify that you don't wear suit to work, and you want to marry somebody's daughter, they will ask the fantasy or you're crutching another fratamini benin, means you are illiterate. And this is a man who is not educated and is still dressed like the white man. Damiza on the Jamabueni be away Natarina or the man.
He traces the history behind Obroniwe.
During the independence struggle, when Nkrumah went there, he discovered that the people were just like when Azambuja 1481 came to meet Nana Kwame Nkrumah and the Fante people. They were barely naked, and the women, those days, they had something to cross the two legs with the beads on. That's all that. With the men, a little something called chokoto, and that's all. Nothing on their body. It was a CPP women's organizer called Hana Kujo who asked Nkrumah officially that we should import on large scale this white man's clothing to give to the people of the north, just to clothe them.
He also explains why the term has remained in use over the years.
The name would remain because people were importing and selling European clothing, and Broniwe was cheap, at first given freely, but later when the economy became bad, those who imported would be making money out of it. And in order to kill their business, those who were importing first class, the one original, or those making the fabrics here in Ghana, very original, will have to tease you and make you feel inferior when you are wearing it in order to create a market for themselves, and then make this one such that if you are going to buy, you will hide and buy. So the Nzema's call it boutique seller, bend down boutique, something like that. You will hide and buy in order to cover your shame.
For many, Obroniwe is more than just second-hand clothing. It is a reflection of the Ghanaian economy and the choices made as a society. What began as a necessity has evolved into a culture
shaping the way Ghanaians dress, shop, and express themselves. Ghana's fashion identity is constantly evolving, but perhaps the real challenge is finding a way to merge the old with the new. The story of Obroni Wewu is still being written. Sena Ajato, GHOne News.
Quite educative, informative, and reflective. You didn't know the story behind Obroni Wewu.